And when she said in 2018 that she has no issue with Hitler because he was a nationalist, but then he wanted to go beyond her borders, even then we didn't call her an anti-Semite. That's an absurd thing to say, that you had no issue with Hitler. Hitler, even domestically by then, had enacted all the Nuremberg laws. There was already the November 9th, 1938 pogrom that was called Kristallnacht. And she said,
just to clarify, let's take these one at a time. What do you believe she said about Adolf Hitler in the clip you're talking about?
She said that there was no issue with Hitler except for the fact that he went beyond his borders. If he was a nationalist, that would have been enough.
Let me play the clip.
His domestic. No, but my point is, no one called her. My point is,
in the interest of fairness, I'm going to play the clip so that viewers who've never heard it can hear what actually got said.
Yeah, I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets, the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism. In thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't. I think that it's okay. It's important to retain your country's identity and to make sure that what's happening here, which I think is incredibly worrisome in terms of the decrease in the birth rate that we're seeing in the UK, is what you kind of want to avoid. So I don't have anything I have no problems with nationalism. It's globalism that I try to avoid.
So Candace, on that specific point, would you say that Rabbi Shmuley has categorized it correctly or not?
He's just openly lying, and that's why he didn't want you to play the clip. I was in the UK, by the way. I was at the Royal Mobile Club. There were Jewish journalists in the room, and nothing was written about it until months later when somebody was working on a hit piece about me. I was answering a question when they were saying, how can we just embrace the word nationalism when it sort of has this dirty feel? And I was just essentially saying that I actually don't have an issue with nationalism. I think it's totally fine to be a British nationalist, to be an American nationalist. And the problem is that it's wrongly attributed. That word, I think people instantly associate it with Adolf Hitler. And I would argue that he wasn't actually a nationalist because obviously he invaded Poland and he went beyond German borders. I didn't even mention Jewish people. I didn't mention the Holocaust. And suddenly you have people like Rabbi Shmuley who are pretending that I got up there and I defended Adolf Hitler. It's just, this isn't good business. And this is why I say right now, please don't cut me off. Please do not cut me off. A huge issue that you have right now is this dishonesty. If you really want to understand why Israel is facing a PR crisis, why Zionism right now to people doesn't feel good and they don't want to associate themselves with it, is because it seems like it takes so many lies to maintain. There's no reason to misrepresent what I said and to tell people that I support Adolf Hitler, other than the fact that you want people to hate me. I can't explain to you how much I was bursting at that moment. Like you see, I look up from the computer and I realize that he actually has the clip, and I have had to endure this for years. So despite what Shmuley is saying there, where he goes, you know, nobody said anything. Are you kidding me? The Simon Wiesenthal Center issued a statement condemning me for supporting Adolf Hitler. Of course, they intentionally stripped that clip out of its context. Still, you don't even hear if the audience member was asking. They were asking me and Charlie Kirk, as we were Trump supporters on stage, and that people who support Trump are nationalists, and is that okay to embrace that as a Trump supporter, this sort of MAGA agenda, make America great again, and say that you're a nationalist and you want to focus on America? And I said, yeah, if that was all any leader wanted to do, was focus on making their country great, and they said they were a nationalist, that would not be problematic. And yet they took that and they lied about that and they smeared me. And you get to see him do it live. I love reading your live chat right now. You guys are saying that Rabbi Shmuley looks like Satan. You're saying that he looks vile. He looks evil. And I'm not even trying to say this in a mean way, but that is objectively true. I say this all the time. The eyes are the window to the soul. When you do things like he does, when you engage in this sort of media spin and you try to ruin somebody's character, right? And you know you're lying. He knew he was lying. That's why he didn't want the clip played. No. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Because you are ruining people's lives. You are getting people fired from places on the basis of lives, because you're truly possessed by evil. You believe that people are forced to accept your narratives. Basically, if you have a disagreement with you, I will crush you and I will ruin you, says the man who claims that he's one of God's chosen people. 2 years of harassment from him and his hag daughter, claiming to be God's chosen people. So God wants me to ruin you, to annihilate you, to harass you, to call the FBI and blame pizza on you because I'm chosen. Do you think the public is going to accept that? Do you think that when the public watches that and they hear him lie and they hear what I actually said and they hear where my heart was when I said it, there's not going to be a worldwide reaction to recognizing that what I have been saying all along is very true? There is a radical strand of Zionism in the media. It is radical, it is nasty, and these people need to start being called out. It is unfair. I am grateful that I have survived these attacks, that the people have trusted me more than ever. I'm grateful that people like Tucker survived these attacks when a couple of days ago they're telling us he's a Nazi apologist. Like Tucker Carlson is suddenly a Hitler apologist simply because he had a conversation with a historian they didn't want heard. But not everybody does survive it, is the point. This is the reason why I talk about it. When they go, oh my God, you're so obsessed. Yes, you're right. Because there are so many people who have had their lives ruined because of these lies. It's not right. And now we're starting to see the pendulum swinging back because people are fighting and people are revealing this sort of hatred and this sort of evilness.